this afternoon. I am excited to be here on my Facebook Live, and I'd love for you to say hi when you come on. That's the only thing I really don't like about Facebook Live is it doesn't give me enough interaction with y'all. I may throw out some Zoom classes so I can take your questions and stuff. But if you have questions, put them in there. I'll try to catch them as I go along. So, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm finding new people on with me every week, I'm so excited to be able to help you learn to master your sales. So, I am Patty Tolar. I live in Montana. And what I do is I help women entrepreneurs overcome their reluctance and their dislike of sales by teaching them how to create heart to heart sales conversations that close the sale. So my programs are really unique because they're actually developed with a combination of deep personal transformation as well as just some an intuitive heart-to-heart based sales process that will really that it transforms my clients into rock stars so that they can unleash their unlimited the unlimited potential of their business. Unfortunately, the only way to grow a business is through more sales. And I know there's so many people out there promising you can kind of bypass it if you do this marketing or that marketing or whatever. But that's not the truth for 99% of the businesses out there. I won't say 100%. Nothing is 100%. And maybe if you have an online store, but you still have to understand your sales strategy and your sales process and know how to write your item descriptions so people want to buy them. Anyway, sales is the heart of business success. And if you think of any of the rock stars in business, the Steve Jobs or any of those folks, they are just unbelievable salespeople. Obviously, Tony Robbins and some of those other folks. So, who am I and why would you want to listen to me? Obviously, I was actually probably, if they'd voted on it, I'd been voted least likely to succeed in sales. I'm a natural introvert, and to this day, I would rather go home and read a book than go out and, go to a chamber networking event. Oh my God, I hated those things. Still do. I still hate them. Anybody else out there feel that same way? Hey, Karen, I'm so excited you joined me today. Um, yeah, anyone else hate those networking events? I find them a little better online, but it's still awkward sometimes. So I went from least likely to succeed to being just an absolute high performer in sales. And my journey from that place, and I did it without selling out the essence of who I am, without becoming inauthentic, without using manipulative and sleazy techniques. And I want to share my journey with you. And it took me a few years to go from begging for a sales position to becoming their top salesperson, selling, over $1 million a year in print sales. But I can have really shorten your learning curve a whole lot. And so often, what is taught in traditional sales programs, which I've had many of, but just doesn't fit you. You are driven by your vision and your mission and your desire to help others and have impact in the world, to deliver your products and your services. Most of my clients are service based, but not all. Um, and those manipulative techniques, those, trying to over talk over somebody, overcoming objections, all that does not fit who you are. So I've taken the best of everything that I've learned in approximately, I shouldn't even name this number, right? 30 years, but you can see my silver hair. I've been around a few times. And then I combine it with some amazing personal transformational information. Hey, Tina, there's Karen again. Yeah, I hear you, Karen. I'm not happy with most networking groups. So that's one of the things that really sets me apart. First is that my just intuitive heart-based programs really take a little bit of a different approach, and then I include some really deep personal transformation because I'm not only a 30-year veteran of business sales. I am a clinical hypnotherapist. a life coach, and an equine assistant coach. So I have a lot of information that I can use, a lot of wisdom, a lot of training, and then I throw in my deep intuitive abilities to help my clients move forward in big strides. So today we're talking about the F word. Anybody out there? I'm sure y'all have guessed what the F word is when it comes to sales. Anybody want to take a guess and put it in there? It is fear. FEAR. That is the biggest four-letter word when it comes to sale, and often in our ability to really manifest these our visionary businesses. And what's interesting about fear is that it hides from you. So I just and it'll show up in with a mask on, or in disguise. When you feel it full on, it is easier to deal with it, right? Because you feel it, I'm just afraid. I'm afraid to open my mouth and speak my truth. I'm afraid to pick up the phone and call a prospect. I'm afraid, I'm afraid, I'm afraid. But let me tell you, it is also disguised in your willingness to procrastinate. Anybody else out there procrastinate? Hey, Tina. Yeah. That's something I've done a few times, and most of my clients have. And then another one that is my go-to one. We all have our own, avoidance strategies, right? Um, and not showing up enough in my business, and that's I don't know what to do. Is that one any of you have caught yourself finding telling yourself, I just don't know what to do. So you spin and spin and spin and you don't get anything done. But the truth is, that is fear in disguise, guys. That's all it is. And so, I had two amazing sessions with clients this week. One of them was actually over in England. A gentleman, I do work with a few of those, and another was an amazing client that's just a fantastic health coach. And they were both dealing with fear, but it showed up in a different way. Now, my gentleman is really he's a lifelong habit of procrastination. He's a brilliant man. He has a library of information. He could create a half a dozen different types of online businesses from with huge success. And he has a mission. He really wants to help people create financial stability, especially people that have had serious setbacks, such as health issues, which is his personal journey. So but he gets stuck. He can't seem to get it done. So we had this amazing core transformation session where we went really in deep and figured out what it was. And it was about fear. It's all about protecting ourselves from rejection. And these are very tangled and convoluted reasons when we start dealing with our subconscious programming. But he had an amazing transformational session. I can't wait to work with him again in another week or so. And my other gal, I mean, now we've worked together for a while, and she just kind of went into her body and she said, it's fear. But when we challenged her subconscious, programming or its viewpoint about what it was she was afraid of and what she needed to protect herself from, we made her really stop and think that it wasn't a truth. Hey, Vesta says procrastination. Yeah, I hear your girlfriend. So it's always the underlying reasons are a lot more complex. But first off is becoming really aware. So if you find yourself in these patterns of continually not getting things done, not knowing what the next step is, or feeling that fear, you'll have to go in deep. And it's so easy because my clients, 99% of them are not salespeople. They aren't professionally trained salespeople. I shouldn't say 99, maybe 90%. Once in a while, I have one that wants, to do a breakthrough, even up level their sales, even as sales professionals. But they're mostly people that have a mission. They have a heart, soul's calling to deliver some work to the world, to help others, to improve their lives, their businesses, their health, There's, their conscious programming, whatever it is, they're here to deliver to the world. But they have this old programming deep within their subconscious, and most of that comes from the first 7 to 10 years of our life, and we live it. It actually runs 90 to 95% of our lives. I want you to think about that for a minute. We think we're in charge. No, we're not. We are not. That's why we find other things to do. We spend hours developing programs we haven't launched. That was mine in the past. Actually, I had to really, set myself down and do some deep work with myself. So I just really want you to know, first off, you're not alone. I think I know everyone on this call has dealt with it. I have personally dealt with it. And when you go to up level your business, change your brand or do something new, launch a new program, it's going to pop up. And how strong it's going to be, it can vary depending on how big a leap you're taking outside of your comfort zone. And usually the bigger leap, the more we've got to hold ourselves accountable. And that's really the beauty of a coach. And I totally encourage you, if there's any way that you work with a coach, because having somebody to be accountable to call you on it. You go 3 weeks in a row, you said, well, you're going to get this done and you're not getting it done. What's the real reason? Let's go in and examine it. So it's really helpful. If you don't have a coach in your budget, find an accountability partner, somebody that's on a similar journey to you that you can really check in with, even as much as a daily level, that you can, that will empathize. They might say, you can call them up and you can say, I know I need to make these phone calls. Um, I need to do a Facebook Live. That was a big step for me. And I just had to, make that commitment, make that decision, and make that commitment. And now it's fun. I feel like I'm getting better at it, and I'm definitely having a lot more people that are interested in what I have to say, and I'm really enjoying it. But it wasn't instant, guys. It wasn't like I put it out 2 weeks and then the next week everybody showed up. You have to work at it. You have to be consistent, and you have to be accountable. And it's so easy for that underlying fear, that big four-letter word, to hold you back, to keep you spinning in circles, to keep you procrastinating, to keep you finding the shiny object syndrome. I have been through that journey as well. Anyone else out there do that? Hey, Heather. Yeah, do you know what the shiny object syndrome? That's when you download freebie after freebie and program after program, and you jump from one to another, and it actually goes back to not knowing what to do. Instead of getting really quiet, deeply connecting to our inner guidance, finding somebody that we can work with that can help us stay in that place, and step by step, just take the next step. What's the next step? What's the next step? Always keeping your big vision in front of you in some way, because that, pretty soon it's a quantum leap. As long as you just keep taking those little steps, wow, they really will build synchronicity, then jumps in and, kind of pushes you along and moves you forward. But when we are stuck in our fear, it's like our feet are glued to the ground. But it's not only in action, but it's also our frequency. And I know you have heard me talk about that a bit as you get on and join me. I'm like 50% woo woo and 50% take action and get it done, because they are both involved in the level of success that you are experiencing. And the more that you raise your frequency, the more that synchronicity just starts pulling opportunities into you. The right people start connecting and hearing your mission, but you have to be out there as well, putting out the information and making the effort. So yeah, there was a tape a while back. It was called Feel, and I think it was a book. Actually, I had the tape deck. Which tells you how old it is, right? Feel the fear and do it anyway. And that's what you have to do. Now, if you do your deep mindset, personal transformation work, it can really help you move at a faster pace. It will greatly reduce that fear. Sometimes it totally eliminates it. I don't guarantee that with my clients, but I will tell them that they will know the source of their reluctance, and usually it's an early childhood memory. Although it was with my white gentleman. What we worked on was in his early 20s. Um, but all these things that we've collected that happened to us, and then we've formed this story around them of why this happened. And it's so often about us not being enough. We aren't enough. We're stupid. We aren't smart enough. We don't know enough. Um, we look stupid. Maybe somebody in authority shut us down. So often women, I find, will have reluctance to speak their truth. That tends on the average a little more strongly with women than men, although everyone has that issue. But we tend to be nurturers, we tend to be connectors, and if we've been shut down at an early age, it can really keep us from speaking our truth, which is, if you're in business, having those conversations with our clients and our prospects that we need to be having. So that is um, that is a huge, huge truth. I know I've had clients that at an early age were very outgoing and to the point where they were being reprimanded in school for being a little disruptive. Anybody out there did that? As a natural introvert, I would get in trouble for reading books in school. I would hide them behind my textbook because I thought school was pretty boring. And yeah, sometimes I got caught. That was funny. But I had friends that were, always talking and, getting in trouble for that. So if that happens in a particular way based on what you're thinking in that moment, that can totally shut down your confidence in being able to speak your truth. And you start believing that to speak up and to be articulate, to be verbal, especially in a very animated way, with a lot of energy, which is so important when you're delivering your message. Even if you're generally a quiet person, you want to deliver your message with the energy of conviction that you believe in your heart and what you're saying and what you deliver to your clients. So those fears so often come from those very, those very interesting childhood interactions that we have. I have some clients that truly have experienced, some trauma or very bleak and difficult issues in their childhood. But more often than not, that's not it. And I know that's sometimes why people think, oh, I had a great childhood. I loved my parents. Yeah, I was the youngest, and my older sibling was a pain in the butt. Teasing me or being mean to me or whatever. But I had a normal childhood. But often, what happens is, depending on who we are and our personalities, and just maybe even what we are feeling that particular day, we'll have an experience, an interaction, and we'll put a meaning on it as we might see it as a 3-year old or a 5-year old or even a 10-year old child. And it can happen, early adulthood as well, but those usually are the strongest programming that we have. So then we have that, and it's just, it's there, and it's making us feel. So you have the belief that triggers the thoughts. And sometimes we are aware of the thoughts, and sometimes we aren't because they can go in and out really fast. But they'll trigger the feelings, and we feel our emotions in our body. And we don't realize why we're backing off. I mean, sometimes we do consciously, but often we make those excuses and we procrastinate, and it's around what we're feeling in our body that's triggered from our early childhood programming. So, maybe this was an experience for me. I hated to have to give a book report. I mean, I honestly was an introvert. And it was like, that was back in the days when we had to stand up and give a book report, usually once or twice a year in different classes, usually English and often another class. I would literally be sick to my stomach. I mean, it was the worst thing I ever had to do. But so to me, when I started selling and getting out and going and talking to people, it would trigger that old feeling of, oh my God, and I was an awkward child too, and or at least I thought I was. I'm not sure I was as awkward as as I felt that I was, but and looking back, I think most of the kids in that preteen, early teenage, we all go through that. But for me, I just knew, and I didn't want people looking at me, laughing or making fun of me. And so those things would actually be re-triggered. So there's two ways to overcome that. FEAR, that, like I said, shows up as procrastination, as not knowing what to do, as the shiny object syndrome. And that is huge now. It is so easy to get that on the internet today because there are so many programs out there available to all of us, right? And so instead of picking one and using it and going through it and then maybe going on, most every myself and every coach I've ever worked with have been through multiple programs. We always want to learn and grow what we know, but this jumping from one thing to another to another to another, that is just fear of stepping out, being wrong or failing, or people showing up and judging us. So those things, the more you become aware of them, the more you can shut them down. And there are two aspects to really dealing with that fear. And the first is mindset work, constant and continual mindset work. It doesn't have to be a drive, it could be something fun, such you might read something really inspiring, or listening to a podcast on a daily basis, or be reading, there's so many amazing books out there today that teach us about, what it takes to be more successful, to reach higher performance levels, or even just to market our businesses in a better, more efficient way, how to create marketing and sales strategies. So just every day, putting your mind on something positive, shutting down those negative voices, that's really, really important. For my clients, I also include core belief transformation. I know a couple of you on there have experienced that. I see a couple of folks on there today. They're pretty amazing. And then for my one-on-one clients, I actually create personalized guided meditations for them to either listen to or read. That's a whole nother, I'll have to do a program on that sometime, or a class on that. So it's really important. And the other piece is the skills, guys. The more, and you think about the things that you've learned to do as a child, the more skilled you are, whether it's walking or reading or, playing jump rope, a sport, the more you get skilled at it, the more confidence you have, and the fear recedes. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing these for you, because there's so much fear around sales and around having the sales conversations. So I have, but so it's twofold: the mindset work, facing and becoming aware of, and then facing your limiting beliefs and old stories, reprogramming, overriding them, and then the actual skills, learning more about what it is that you need to do, practicing it. That's something I had to do at one of my sales jobs, and I thought it was the worst thing in the world. But honestly, if I could do role plays with the other sales reps in my company, I could go into any office and talk to anybody without even blinking an eye. So find ways to really put together your sales conversations and practice them. And I don't know, any of you out there have some questions about your sales conversations? I have a very special program I'm getting ready to launch. And I'm just going to give you a sneak preview today. It is a group program, a 30-day group program, where I am going to teach you how to create those conversations that sell. I'm going to hold your hand as we go through the 6 steps to heart sales conversations that will close your sales. So we'll have an overlying mindset aspect. You're going to get my 30-day daily practice for success program that just gives you some very simple, easy to do journaling and exercises in the morning, some inspirational quotes to focus on. And then we are going to take those 6 steps and break them down. I'm going to teach them to you in depth. You'll get, you'll get your training via video on Mondays and Thursdays. I'm going to be on live, and I will take you individual. Each person will have a chance to ask me their questions and get my personal help in putting their conversations together. And as a bonus, at the end, I'm going to give you each person an hour, individual attention to really nail those conversations down. I want you to know how to do that. I see somebody wants pricing. Yay. Okay, so I know I've had several people that have approached me that really wanted to work with me one-on-one, but it didn't fit in their budget. I get that. I've been there. And so the consensus was under $500. So this program is going to be $497, guys. And the first 3 people that register, I'm going to give them an extra $100 discount. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because this is the first time I've ever offered this program, and I really am excited about it. I'm excited about what it's going to do for you. If you want to pay, you will have to pay the full price. If you do pay in full, first 3 people will get it for $397. So I don't have a sales page up. I'm a terrible salesperson. It's my technology that slows me down. I'm trying to. I thought I had somebody that was going to come on board with me to take care of my technology, but I'm not sure right now. She's not responding to my emails after I thought we had something worked out. So, practicing sales conversations, yeah, it's really important, isn't it, Tina? So I wanted to make this affordable for you. And if you're interested, if you go into the description at the top, you will see that you can, oh, and I have a gift for you today too. I need to talk faster because I've only got 2 minutes left. Okay, so you can schedule a 30-minute call with me. We'll talk about what will work for you, okay? If you really, really want this and you need something different payment-wise, I'll work it out with you. I want you in this class if you know that it's right for you. And if it's not, that's okay too, and I would let you know that. So get on the phone with me, book your 30-minute call, and we'll just see what you really need for your next step in your business and how I might be able to help you with that. You'll also see on there, I have a little freebie for you guys. I haven't offered this one in a while, till this week actually. And it is my 3 tips for unshakable sales confidence. And these are actually, I'm going to rewrite it, but it's still really powerful. These are 3 strategies, I call them tips in this guide, that I use every day to sell $1 million in sales, guys. They are simple, they're easy. You may even look at them and go, what is this? I mean, this is like nothing. But I'm telling you, if you actually do them, it's like calendaring using a calendar and organizing your day and going in and determining, your 3 priorities or 4 priorities for the day, which actually is part of my Mindset for Success program. our daily practice for success program. So it's powerful. It can transform your life and your business. It'll help you take that quantum leap that you're looking for. These are simple, easy to work through and actually practice strategies that really do work. They really do make a a difference. And I've learned them from some of the greats in sales. And, they're not manipulative. They're, nothing like that. They're just some really, really good tips and they'll give you more confidence when it's part of those gaining your skills pieces. All right, guys, I'm out of time. They only give me 30 minutes. Please don't hesitate. You'll also see my email, patty@pattytolar.com. You're welcome to email me as well if you have questions. And I want to thank everyone for being here today. And I hope you got some amazing and helpful and useful information from it. All right, see you next week, guys. Take care.